And we are live. This is the Comic Call. I'm Dylan Lang. And how are you this Friday evening here, August 8th, 2014? Whoa, where have I been? Hi guys, this is Dylan Lang. Nice to see you again on a lovely Friday here in August, early August. This is my show, Comic Call. This is my second show. I have another one on Sundays called The Dylan Knows. My Dylan Knows show is usually on Sundays 12:30, but my new episode will be on tomorrow, prime time, around this time tomorrow. Hopefully I won't have the tech issues I had today, but at 9 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, me and my co-host Gigi Fletcher will be talking lists, our top 5, our favorite vacation spots, where my top 5 where I've gone to vacation and her top 5 where she went to vacation. So it should be something different than we usually used to. So still a lot of fun. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about comics. This is the Comic Call on a Friday. Usually when I do it on a Friday, it's usually a financial issue. Not this time. It was a work issue. I was working late on Wednesday. I had to pick up my son. So I could not stop by the comic store on Wednesday. So I waited till today. And I got quite the Comic Call. So let's get this started right away so I'm not taking up your whole Friday night here. I'm going to try to move this along a little quickly because I've been doing this now 17 weeks, 16, 15 weeks, whatever. It says 17, 18, but that's because last week I didn't do one because I was on vacation. And I don't have any books from last week because it was a 5th week and I only had DC Comics, about 6 of them that I bought, so I figured, it's not really worth it to do a show. It'll only be like 5 minutes long, and then I'm out the door. And plus, I already put them away, so I don't want to pull them out and say, "Oh, this is what I got," and then put them back. So instead, we're going to talk about the stuff that came out today. It is the beginning of the month, so a lot of good stuff coming out this month. The big thing coming out this month will be Grant Morrison's Multiversity, and I will show you an ad for that in the most recent one of these new DC comics. Also, when we're doing for those who haven't seen the show, the Comic Call is my show where I talk about what I bought at the comic store this week and try to convince you all to go to the comic store this weekend, during the week, whatever, and pick up your own comics. My whole point of doing this show is to get more people to buy comics and get their comics and get into comics. So hopefully this will work a little bit. Without further ado, let's get going on. So as I usually do it, I do DC, Marvel, and then Independence, and we'll move on from there. So first up today is proof that comics are for all ages. I've got a couple of those today. This is a great DC comic. This is Tiny Titans number 3, Return of the Treehouse. Tiny Titans is fantastic family comic about the young superheroes. There's Robin and Shazam family, but it's got just the DC heroes as kids. It's by Art Balthazar and Franco, and it's very funny, very cute artwork, but really funny, tongue-in-cheek stuff, and good for kids and for grown-ups. And for kids, we've got his very own Batman mask, so you can be Batman. Fantastic for kids. So normally I wouldn't recommend cutting up your comics, but you know what? This is basically a kids family comic, so knock yourself out. But grown-ups, parents, this is a good comic for you guys as well. It's fun, it's entertaining, and if you love comics, you love DC comics, this is a great comic for you because there's lots of jokes that a lot of kids might not get, but if you're a DC comic reader, you'll get. So Tiny Titans number 3 has come out today. Or rather Wednesday, I should say, this past Wednesday, and will still be available this weekend. These are in no particular order. I just threw them all together at the last minute today. Green Lantern number 34, as I mentioned before, Green Lantern has been written so long by Jeff Johns that whenever he decided to leave, we didn't know how things were going to go. He's been gone now for, I don't know, close to almost a year now. So I think it's been longer than that, actually. I think they started around issue 20, 21. So it's been a while since the new Green Lantern regime has been involved, and they've done an excellent, fantastic job. This is issue number 34. It's good to see Simon Baz back because he's one of those heroes that sort of got left behind the Jeff Johns era. But for those who've been reading the Green Lantern during the Jeff Johns era and also the Justice League, you know that Simon Baz should be playing a huge role very soon if Jeff Johns is going to be keeping with the plan that he set in motion when he left Green Lantern. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Robert Venditti. We're talking about Billy Tan. This looks like a quick one-off, basically. The New 52 for DC started in September of 2011, I believe. So every September they try to do some sort of special celebration for the New 52. I think last year was the Villains comics. There's 52 Villains comics. I think the year before that was the 0 year ones. So stuff like that. So they do something special each year. This year, their September comics are going to be future. It's going to be 5 years in the future for all their characters, based on a book we're going to look at in a few minutes, and I'll talk to you more about that then. So basically, a lot of the comics for this month are going to be wrapping up storylines, or they're going to be one-offs. This looks like it appears to be one-off because Green Lantern just finished Uprising storyline, so this is just a one-off. Simon Baz is back, and Billy Tan. So it looks like we've got some, good artwork. The artwork is good, story's good. And Billy Tan actually didn't do all the artwork in here. I want to give total credit to where it's due. Martin Kokolo did pages 8 to 18, so I think what I just showed you was Robert Kokolo. And here's Billy Tan. Yeah, this is what you're more used to seeing with Billy Tan. So a good little one-off leading to the upcoming 5 years later issues for September. And then after that, they're going to get into their Godhead storyline, which I think there's an ad for it in here. Let me see if it's in. It might not be in this one. It might be in one of the other ones. Yeah, I think it's probably one of the other comics. I'll show it to you in a little bit. But now Green Lantern's getting ready to do their next big storyline as well coming up. And that's sort of teased a little bit at the end here. So enjoy. Now, as I was talking about earlier, Multiversity is coming up. Grant Morrison, Multiversity is coming up in August. It's going to be his look at the alternate, 52 alternate worlds. So in the multiverse, there's like a 5-page advertisement. I'm not ad copy. Do not buy this book. And there's the book. So it should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Good creative team. Grant Morrison's writing it. Art by Ivan Reyes, Frank Whiteley, Doug Monkey, Cameron Stewart, Chris Sprouse, Ben Oliver, and more. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And those who watch this show, you'll see them soon enough. But as of now, this is Green Lantern 34, a one-off, which leads from the end of Uprising and before the Future's End 5 years later. I figure may as well. I'm going to switch this one out. Since we were just talking about it, DC's doing 2 weekly comics, Batman Eternal and Future's End. As I said, all the September books coming out next month for DC are all going to be 5-year jumps that are going to tie into this series to see where all the heroes are 5 years from now. It's another going to be a one-off, and they're going to go to their next storyline after that. So pretty good. But to keep up what's going on, this is a weekly, so you can get 4 of these issues in August, leading up to the big September Future's End month. So check it out. This is, as all weekly books are, they are done by multiple writers, artists, different artists all the time. The writers are Brian Azzarello, Jeff Lemire, Dan Jurgens, Keith Giffen. Pencil for this issue is Aaron Lopresti with inks by Art Thibault, who always makes things look beautiful. Batman Beyond is one of the main characters in this. Aaron Lopresti is one of those artists that you can count on to you need him to do something, he'll do it. And Art Thibault is just a fantastic inker and a good penciler in his own right also. So it's Future's End number 14. Check that out. And you'll probably want to get caught up on that because, as I said, September is going to be Future's End month in the DC Universe. So you might want to know what's going on. It'll be written enough probably so that you won't need to be following it, but it's always good to have the background. As I said, also Batman Eternal as the other weekly book coming out. This is number 18 since it started a month before Future's End did. Once again, multiple writers in this one. Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV wrote the story, Tim Seeley the script, Ray Fawkes and John Layman were contributing writers. This issue is drawn by Andy Clark, who's always got an interesting style. It's got Batwoman, Red Hood, and Batgirl. working together in this one. Batman does make an appearance. Killer Croc's in this too. Looks like it. Pretty cool. Just good stuff all together, and should be pretty interesting. So, Batman Eternal number 18, continuing a really pretty good Batman story, kind of supernatural-esque to it, but something weird is going on in the Bat world, and it's too big of a story to tell in just the books themselves, the Batman books themselves. So they had to create this weekly book to get that story out there. So enjoy that. Speaking of Batman, Batman's first partner, Dick Grayson, was Robin, was Nightwing, and now he's just Grayson. Grayson number 2. Now, this is the variant cover for the month. Now, those who've been watching my show have realized that DC the last couple months have been doing special variant covers every month. They do a regular cover, and then they do the variant cover. And each variant cover has a theme, and this is the first time of the 3 that you can actually see what kind of variant cover it's going to be. This is the selfie cover. So this month are going to be selfie covers. You'll be so it'll be like you're taking a selfie, the superhero's taking a selfie is going to be the covers. So if you like the selfie cover better than the regular cover, by all means pick it up. I did in this case. If you want both, buy both. If you want just the regular cover, buy the regular cover. I don't care. Just buy it. Just read it. But Grayson number 2 has Dick as a super spy now. It's written by Tim Seeley and Tom King, and art by Miguel Janin, who I love. Looks like Guillermo Ortega and Juan Castro helps out in this as well. Just some nice artwork from Miguel Janin. Love his work. And not really like a superhero comic thing, more of a super spy, Born Identity type of thing. So check out Grayson number 2, and this is the selfie cover. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the main cover of this one. I just wanted to get at least one selfie cover to show you guys what the special theme is this week, and that just happened to be the one that jumped out at me. Next up is Green Arrow once again, as I said, with Green Lantern. This is Green Arrow 34. This is the end of a storyline, a story arc. We're going to lead to the 5 years later story in issue 35, and then issue 36 is going to start a whole new story arc. Jeff Lemire has done an incredible job. We're writing Green Arrow, and Andrea Sorrentino has just been amazing with the artwork. And to be honest, I think the two of them have done every issue so far together. I mean, just look at this cover. This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. And this is more. DC's doing something interesting with their. They might not be doing too well in the movies, but with their TV shows, they're actually doing really, really well. And Arrow happens to be one of the more popular TV shows out there now. And so this new Green Arrow, the new 52, is a younger Green Arrow, as you saw in the pictures, and is more akin to the TV version. Green Arrow is good read, good artwork, good storyline, and it's not connected, but they're trying to get if you like Arrow, you'll probably want to pick up the Green Arrow since Lemire's been on it. You might want to pick those up as well. Next up is Detective Comics number 34. Once again, is a one-off, I believe, or the end of the story. I think it's a one-off. Nope, it's the end of the story arc. So it's the end of the Icarus story arc, which was the first story arc by Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato, who came on after their run on The Flash. Yeah, pretty nice looking artwork here too. I mean, you got Harvey's in there. Not Harvey Dent. I forget his name. It is Harvey though, right? I don't know. Killing me. I'm supposed to be a geek, but I honestly can't remember his name right now. Oh yeah, Harvey Bullock. Duh. See, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. But yeah, Detective has been pretty good. when Brian Buccioletto and Francis Matt Paul came on. I just didn't like their version of the Flash. I like the new versions out there now with Robert Venditti, Van Jensen, and Brett Booth. But Detective Francis and Brian have reverted him back to his detective time. He's working by himself, and that's the way it should be. That's what Detective Comics is. It should be Batman using his detectiveness. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Green Lantern Godhood storyline, which is going to be coming up after the 5 years later. Well, there's the double-page ad for it. So that's the next big Green Lantern storyline with them taking on the new gods. So that should be pretty interesting. And also, let me see if this is in here also. Yep. This also has the Batman timeline, because this is the 75th anniversary of Batman. I think every year since he was created to now, they have something exciting happened in the book. So it does like a little thing about what that year was about. Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins shows Batman animated series begins, Stephanie Rout, stuff like that. So pick up Detective Comics just to finish the Icarus storyline. You can also get the really cool Batman timeline in there, which might be in a bunch of the DC books, but that's the only one I saw in this one. And pick it up. And once I said, these are all like one-offs or ending of story arcs, because September is going to be their 5 years later thing. I know I'm going to beat it in the ground, but I just want to point out that a good thing to do is, if you're trying to get into comics and are interested in some DC comics, next month might be a good time to do it, because it's going to be a one-off 5 years later type of thing, and then it'll lead to the new storyline. So it might be good just to pick up the book then. So I'm just trying to give you some options about that. So I only got a few more to go for DC, and then we're going to Marvel. The next three are connected. Superman has been doing a storyline within their books. Superman, Wonder Woman, Action, and I think it's just Superman and Wonder Woman in Action are the only two that it's really involved with. Really, I think about it. And it might have popped up in Batman Superman for an issue. It might have popped up in Superman, but Jeff Johns' Superman is not going to be connected with this. So it's just going to be sticking with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Action. So to continue the Doom storyline, where Superman has been slowly turning into Doomsday, we're getting down to the end of the line. So the first one up is Superman, Wonder Woman Annual number 1. Is Super Doom, Chapter 3, Superman Doomed. I don't think I have these. None of these came out today because they were this week because they were in the brand new section. So, pretty good cover there by Tony Daniel. Charles Soule is doing a good job of writing it. Pencils by Ed Bennis, Tony Daniel, Pascal Leaks, Cliff Richards, and Jack Herbert. And inks by Jay Mendoza, Matt Banning, Vicente Cifuentes, Pascal Leaks, and Cliff Richards. So looks like you got Doomsday Superman taking on Cyborg Superman, and Wonder Woman trying to stop him. There's even appearance by Samin Baz. How about that? And Hawkman, so must have been Justice League America is involved with that. And there's Wonder Woman and Batman. So, but yeah, this is continuing the Doom storyline. It also continues in Action Comics Annual number 3. Yeah, I think these are Doom. This is the last part of Chapter 4, and then Chapter 5, or rather the next chapter. I'm sorry, this is Chapter 4. There's been 4 chapters of this Super Doom storyline. This one has written by Greg Pak with art by Ken Lashley, Aaron Cooter, Jack Herbert, Cliff Richards, Julius Gopez, Will Conrad, and Pascal Leaks, with inks by Ken Lashley, Aaron Cooter, Vicente Cifuentes, Cliff Richards, Will Conrad, and Pascal Leaks. And since I showed you the first page of that one, here's the first page. It looks like Lois Lane has become Brainiac. I haven't been following the story. I have all the issues, just haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it probably in one sitting, but this has the Justice League. Looks like taking on Doomsday Superman. There's Martian Manhunter and some stuff. So, a lot of different artists, one big storyline. So interesting stuff. So I think we're getting ready to wrap this up, the storyline, because now we have Last Son, Chapter 1, Action Comics 34, which is the next chapter in the whole saga. This is written by Greg Pak with art by Aaron Kuder. So, and Scott Collins, actually. So he pops up in there as well. It looks like Superman has been reverted back to normal, but now they have to deal with Brainiac. So, some good stuff there. Superman shooting off his heat vision. There's Wonder Woman. And it's a good team up. I was looking through here. There's lots of Justice League people. And Superman, Wonder Woman, everybody. So, Doomed is only in the Superman series of books, with the exception of maybe Superman. So go ahead and pick those up. You might enjoy them. As I said, I've read the Doomed story, the one shot that led into it, but I haven't read all the things that happened after it. So I'm going to read that all in one sitting when I get a second. So that's it for DC. DC is my favorite, so it's the one that has the most. So here's my DC pile. All of them good. All of them pick up. Family pick up Tiny Titans. All right, now Marvel. Marvel's been lower in my eyes, and then it's slowly starting to come back now with some really good stories, some really good series out there. I still find their let's reboot every 6 months ridiculous, and they're going to be doing it again soon. And I find it ridiculous. But for now, we'll just go with it. The first issue is kind of unusual. Superior Spider-Man was a series that came out after Spider-Man's 700th issue, where Dr. Octopus switched bodies with Peter Parker, and so Dr. Octopus's mind was in Peter Parker's body, and he was Spider-Man, had all his powers, was young, vibrant, whatever, but looked like Peter Parker. And then Peter Parker's mind was in Dr. Octopus's body, and he was dying, and eventually Dr. Octopus died with Peter's, supposedly his soul, so now Dr. Octopus was in complete control of Peter Parker's body, but Peter Parker was still lingering around in there, and so the whole storyline led to that. And then eventually Peter Parker reasserted himself, and now he's back as Spider-Man, and Dr. Octopus is in the other wherever. So they ended Superior Spider-Man with issue 31, and then they restarted Spider-Man with Amazing Spider-Man #1. So, okay, that's fine. It's, Peter Parker's back. Let's get back in the swing of things. Then they announced Superior Spider-Man #32. And it got me thinking, it's like, why would they do that? And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, like that. Dan Slott has got an amazing story arc coming up. I don't know if it's going to be later this year or if it's going to start next year. I think it's next year is when it's going to really hit full steam. But we're going to see a lot of lead up to it, starting with this issue. His Spider-Verse storyline, which is going to have every single Spider-Man incarnation come together to fight Morlun, who is a spider-sucking demon thing. So they decided, let's start the whole thing off with Superior Spider-Man #32 because he is a Spider-Man. We might be able to use him for the battle upcoming. So we'll take him from his time frame and then send him back when we're done with him, that type of thing. So I'm sure we'll probably have some sort of time travel, alternate dimension type of thing, and then we'll probably have Peter Parker seeing what Dr. Octopus actually did face-to-face as Superior Spider-Man. So it should be interesting to see what happens. I'm actually really excited about that storyline. I'm not a big fan of these crossovers, but that one actually is interesting because I like Spider-Man. I think Dan Slott's doing a really good job, and it's a good idea. So Superior Spider-Man #32 comes out and is starting the prep for Spider-Verse. And there's been a few things in the Amazing Spider-Man comics that have been leading to it, but this was like the first real gunshot. And they do variant covers as well. Marvel does a lot more than just one other one. They do 2 or 3. I saw this one, and I had to have this variant cover. It's by Scotty Young, who's a good, fun artist who does the Rocket Raccoon book. And it's just his version of the Spider-Verse with all the different spider incarnations that's been out there on the cover. So I figured, this is good. It's a lead into the storyline. Dan Slott did write this, but Christos Gage also helped out, and it's possible Christos might even be involved in Spider-Verse as well. And oh my god, a big blasting Rocket Raccoon. Let me just show you this real quick. I like Rocket Raccoon. We'll talk about Guardians of the Galaxy in a second, but there's like a toy apparently of him. But anyway, so here's Superior Spider-Man. Um, so it's written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage with art by Giuseppe Camicoli and John Dell. And it's pretty nice artwork. And we see the different universes where things are happening. And he's going to have to go in and try to save the day. And so this just looks really, really interesting, and I'm really excited for this Spider-Verse storyline. I don't know why. I just think it's freaking awesome. Edge of Spider-Verse starts in September. There's the ad for it right there. So we'll start seeing more Edge of Spider-Verse showing up, and they'll probably have their own issue and multiple issues, and I'm probably going to buy all of them. And here is, just all of the Spider-Mans gathered together, beginning to be gathered together. So, kind of excited about this. Kind of looking forward to this. So, I can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to that. I talked about Rocket Raccoon. Guardians of the Galaxy did phenomenal business. Exceeded expectations. I was unable to see it this weekend. I'm hoping to see it this weekend. So I'm really excited to see it because I'm dying to. Rocket Raccoon's one of my favorite characters. When I saw that toy in that book, I was like, man, I need something I need to have. But until then, I will stick with Rocket Raccoon #2. Issue 1 was really good. Speaking of Scotty Young, he did the artwork for the cover here. Kind of same style, but Scotty Young fits Rocket Raccoon. And there he is again. There's the figure again. So you got him and Groot are together again. There's Groot and Rocket's in there, and they're having a adventure and stuff like that. So should be a lot of fun. The first issue was really fun. I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the stuff. Oh wow, they have a Rocket Raccoon costume. Oh my goodness. I think I might have to be him for Christmas, Halloween. Yeah, I'm weird, I know. But they're doing some really good stuff in the space stuff. Dan Slott's Silver Surfer is a really good series also. So Rocket Raccoon #2. Once again, if you're new to comics or you want to get into comics because of Guardians of the Galaxy, you liked Rocket Raccoon, he has his own comic out now. This is issue 2, just came out this week, so you might be able to find issue 1 still out there too, because there were lots of incentives to buy a lot, so your comic store might have bought a bunch to get some of the variants, so they might have a bunch still sitting on the shelf. You never know. And also, if you like that, I'm not a big fan of the character, so I haven't bought this comic, but there's a Star-Lord comic also out now. And Guardians of the Galaxy have their own comic as well. So if you want to check out what Guardians of the Galaxy is doing and check out some of the characters from it, go to your local comic store. You'll find plenty of stuff. They'll probably have big displays of these books everywhere for your perusal. Now a bit of sad news. Moon Knight #6 is the final issue of Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey. A very short story, and they will be missed. It's been an incredible run, unique run, something that hasn't really been seen. Individual issues here and there. Artwork is phenomenal. The story is amazing, and everything is just great about it. Moon Knight is such a good character, and I'm a little not disappointed or scared, but I'm interested. I'm wondering where it's going to go. Brian Wood is writing it, and Greg Smallwood are going to be doing the book now. And there's a little bit of a preview of what it's going to look like. Brian Wood's a pretty interesting writer, though he does have some issues outside of comics, but we're not going to get into those. But Declan Shalvey and Warren Ellis, good series. I may check out #7, but if it doesn't take my attention like this has, then I'm probably going to drop Moon Knight. We'll see. But for now, you might be able to find all 6 issues, or you might just want to wait till the trade comes out. But it's one of these things where you could probably pick up any one of the issues that are out there and would not be lost whatsoever. So, sad news. Moon Knight #6, last Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey. Speaking of Charles Soule, who was writing the Superman Wonder Woman annual that came out this week, we also have him writing She-Hulk #7. Here we have She-Hulk with looks like Giant Man and Hellcat. Um, and it looks like Javier Pulido is back with the artwork. After a little bit of a change, there was some different type of artwork for it. Didn't quite work for me, but it's good to see Javier back. Kind of a Kirby-esque quality to him a little bit. She-Hulk is a great character, and Charles Soule is doing a really good job of writing him. And just looks like a fun adventure issue. There's a bird, a robin, or a bird of some kind taking Giant Man, Ant-Man away now. So we've got Hellcat and She-Hulk taking on ants. So pretty good. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Captain America makes an appearance in here. So She-Hulk #7. Once again, good series, good strong female character, good writer, good artist. Check it out. Another female character is Black Widow #9 is out this week too. Looks like the Punisher's in this one. Nathan Edmondson, Phil Noto. Phil Noto's a great spy artist as well. But this is more of Black Widow's spy thing. Looks like Crossbones is back in this one, who would be a great character to show up in the Captain America movies because he is one of Captain. Yep, there he is. There's the Punisher. And Black Widow look like they're going to be teaming up. They seem to probably get along because he kills bad guys and she's a spy and she doesn't mind killing bad guys either. So this is another good series. Hasn't been getting a lot of press lately, but you know what? Black Widow's Black Widow. She's a star from the Avengers movies. Was in the Captain America movie. So Winter Soldier. So another good, strong female character if you want to read some of those. And they're good. They're well written. Good artwork. All right, into this stretch run, we're down to our Independents. Another very strong female story. Terry Moore's SIP Kids #1. A little bit of background on this. SIP stands for Strangers in Paradise. For those who've watched my Dylan Knows Comics show with MJ Khan, we've gushed about Strangers in Paradise, which is a fantastic series. For those who might not be superhero fans, but are interested in comics in general, comics are for everyone. They've got different types of genres and stuff like that now. Strangers in Paradise is a romance / spy / dramatic storyline about a lesbian. No, she's a lesbian who's in love with her best friend from when they were kids, but she is in love with some loser guy and the adventures that they have together. And it's a heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, fantastic story. And Terry Moore has come back to it and is doing a young version of their characters in SIP Kids. So I don't know if this is an ongoing or quarterly or what, but it's a different style for Terry, because let me show you. In the flashback sequence, in the black and white sequence, that is what Terry Moore's artwork really looks like. And then in this book, we get more of a cartoony, kid style style of artwork. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if this would be good for kids. It might be. Strange Paradise is not. It's for grown-ups, not for kids. But SIP Kids might be for kids, and I'll have to read it and I'll guys let you know. But it looks fantastic. Terry Moore is a fantastic writer, artist. He did Rachel Rising, which is his horror book, which is doing great. It's just a great book right now. It's out now. That's what he's doing right now. He did Echo, which actually I'm ashamed to say I haven't read. And of course, Strangers in Paradise, which everyone has to read. Everyone has to read. If you want to see what comics can do, pick up Strangers in Paradise. I tell you what, I'll give you an example. Neil Gaiman a award-winning writer, also writes comics, but he's also a novelist. This is what he says about Strange Paradise. What most people don't know about love and relationships would fill a book. Strange in Paradise is that book. And it is. Great series for those older kids, grown-ups, 20-ish kids. I would probably recommend Strange in Paradise for you. If you're not a big superhero fan, check out Strange in Paradise. It's well worth it. And then SIP Kids, as I said, I don't know if it's for kids. It's got a kid-style look to it, and it might be more of an all-ages story. And I can't wait to read it. And it's great to see Terry Moore trying something different. Also, he's using color, which is unusual because he usually works only in black and white. So that's why it's pretty good. So hopefully it'll be a regular series, and we'll see more Strange in Paradise because Kachu and Francine are two fantastic characters. So Strange in Paradise, pick it up if you want to see what comics can do, and that there are more to comics than superheroes. Strange in Paradise is a good place to start. This is another good place to start. I lamented about this a couple weeks ago because my comic store did not have it, but then lo and behold, I saw this on the racks today. Gru versus Conan, #1 from Dark Horse. A little history. Gru is creation of Sergio Aragonés and Mark Evanier. Sergio Aragonés is the artist who drew the little drawings in the Mad Magazine comics. Here's what his style of artwork looks like, so it's kind of familiar. Gru the Wanderer is a parody of Conan, and so Dark Horse, who owns both properties, decided, you know, it'd be good, why don't we do an actual crossover? It's a 4-issue miniseries, a crossover between Conan and Gru. And it looks interesting. And Aragonés and Evanier are working on it. They wrote it, and Aragonés drew the Gru part of it, and they got Thomas Yates to draw the Conan parts of it. But Sergio and Mark wrote that regular Conan parts of it. So you've got the Conan style artwork, yeah, and the Gru style artwork, and they're going to mesh somehow. But Gru is a parody of Conan, and the fact that they have the two of them together is interesting, and I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this. So, Gru versus Conan #1. I don't know if your local store will have it. I just lucked out. It came out a couple weeks ago, and I just got lucky that I saw this on the shelf, and I won it, and I got it. So, hooray for me. A couple more, and then we're done. Actually, I'm going to end on this one. Lazarus from Image. Greg Rucka, Michael Lark. Great, another female-led book. Greg Rucka, fantastic writer. Michael Lark, fantastic artist. And this is a kind of a spy type of book also, but gorgeous artwork. Great storyline. Can't go wrong with it. So once again, not really a superhero book, but something you might be interested in. So the first Lazarus trade, I think, just came out, so if you want to get caught up on Lazarus, I highly recommend you do pick up the trade and then get caught up with the books and check it out. I think you'll like it. Rucka's fantastic writer, Michael Lark, fantastic artist, I showed you. This is another one that surprised me. The Woods, James Tynion IV and Michael Dialynis. This is the one about a school that gets transported to another planet, and a bunch of students go out to try to see what they can see to try to find a way to escape, and then meanwhile there's stuff going on at the school as everybody's starting to go a little crazy from being cooped up and not knowing what's going on. James Tynion's a great writer, interesting idea, good artwork, good storyline. I highly recommend checking it out. So please do. Finally, I raved about this last month, and it's back again. And I was talking, I'm going to bookend it because I started this comics haul with Tiny Titans all ages book. I'm going to end it with a IDW all ages book, Angry Birds Comics #3. I raved about issue 2 last month. My son and daughter actually absolutely love this book. I love this book, being a grown-up. Great artwork, great fun stories, good all ages stuff. Everybody knows what the Angry Birds are. You've got stories about the pigs and the birds, so you've got both sides of the story. There's the birds. And they talk in this one, so they're not just making the noises, but they are, they do talk. And then there's the pigs, so and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun book. My kids love it. It's funny, and there's even some good jokes for grown-ups as well. I mean, it is such a great book. And my son and daughter cannot get enough of it. So go pick up Angry Birds. Once again, it's one of those that you don't need to know what's going on, the previous 2 issues. If your comic store only has the new issue #3, pick it up. You're not going to be lost. I promise you that. You know what Angry Birds are, right? If you don't, it's cute little birds taking on ugly pigs, So that is the comic haul for this week. Family-oriented, Tiny Titans, Angry Birds, and in between, just lots of good stuff. Superheroes, all kinds of fun stuff. So, go to your comic store. Pick some of these up if you're a fan. If you don't know what's going on, or you've never been to a comic book store before, go into a comic book store. Just go in there, browse around, just look around, look at the trades, find characters you've heard of before, open them up, look at the books, see if you like the artwork, see if you like the stories, talk to the people who work there. They might be able to give you some ideas about what to get. On that note, I'm going to bid you all fond farewell. Don't forget, my Dylan Knows show will be on tomorrow night, Saturday, 9 p.m. That's Saturday, August 9th at 9 p.m. with my special guest host, Gigi Fletcher. We will be talking about our top 5, our favorite vacation spots. Should be talking about some beautiful places and recommendations for you guys to go see it. And hey, those who are watching, if you want to send me your favorite vacation spots, just use my Twitter at Holidill. And I will read some of them on the air, possibly. I'll send out a tweet tonight for anybody who wants to, but I know most of you are watching this are comics fans, but you know what? Why don't you check out Dylan Knows? You might like it. I'm on episode 46 or 47, getting close to my year. And I do a comic show every first Sunday. In fact, my last Sunday was my comic show, which I did with my co-host MJ Khan, and we'll be doing more in the future. So I will be saying good night now, and go to your comic store, enjoy, get some good stuff. Night.